Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh testified today against his accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, in what some are calling a historic hearing.
Coming up, find out what was said on Capitol Hill.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Matthew Hendley.
And I'm Bess Pavlakovich.
A remarkable day on Capitol Hill as the Senate Judiciary Committee reconvened hearings for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh with just 2 participants.
Christine Blasey Ford says she is 100% certain a drunk Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when they were teenagers. Kavanaugh says he absolutely did not.
From the same oath to tell the truth, 2 very different versions of what the truth is.
I believed he was going to rape me. I tried to yell for help. When I did, Brett put his hand over my mouth to stop me from yelling.
Brett Kavanaugh defends himself against charges he calls absolutely false.
I'm here today to tell the truth. I've never sexually assaulted anyone.
I am here today not because I want to be. I am terrified.
I just wanted to let you know I'm very sorry. That's not right.
Arizona sex crimes prosecutor Rachel Mitchell did the questioning on behalf of the all-male Republican committee members. Republicans have questioned the last-minute timing of Ford's revelation. Democrat committee member Dianne Feinstein knew about Ford's story in July, but it wasn't made public until a September Washington Post report.
I am an independent person and I am no one's pawn.
Ford says though the alleged event happened more than 3 decades ago, she still gets panicked. She has 2 front doors on her house to ease claustrophobia. She says she doesn't remember all of the details, but she does remember this.
Indelible in the hippocampus is the laughter. The uproarious laughter.
This is a circus. The consequences will extend long past my nomination.
With only the 2 of them before the committee, it's his word against hers, with senators soon deciding whose word carries more weight.
A source from the White House says President Trump is watching Kavanaugh's hearing from the West Wing. Officials are saying they believe Kavanaugh struck the right tone in his opening statement. And here on campus, the Council of Academic Administrators has approved Ed Meek's request to remove his name from the university's School of Journalism and New Media. Earlier this week, the undergraduate and graduate councils approved the request, and it moved to the Council of Academic Administrators. Now, the request will move to Chancellor Vitter for approval. If he does approve, the request will be submitted to the IHL board for approval. We will continue to give you updates as this story continues.
Rush Week is always busy for students, but have you ever wondered about its impact on local businesses? NewsWatch reporter Mary Claire Kelly talked to the Espresso Cafe Cups to find out how students' busy schedules affect their shop.
Cups is considered to be a favorite study spot for Ole Miss students, but sometimes their business varies depending on the time of year. Student barista Beck says that Rush Week can be challenging for Cups. She says that she likes to over-prepare for the influx of people that come into the cafe in the mornings during this busy week.
We are definitely busier in the mornings, on the weekends for sure, right before bid day and everything, to have like a rush of people come in, and then we go back to our normal business.
Once rounds begin for Rush, Beck says that the cafe's business slows down, but midterms week is a different story. During midterms week, students crowd every corner of the tiny cafe all day long. Oxford Cups owner Brian Spillman says that they accommodate for this expected influx by creating a comfortable environment for the students.
We are for students. We know that we are a study spot for students, and so we want to embrace the university in every way that we can.
Businesses in Oxford, like Cups, have to adjust to the crazy busy schedules of Ole Miss students.
But no matter what time of year it is, a coffee shop is a great place to study and get work done. Mary Claire Kelly, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
If you're looking to get some studying done this week, Cups is open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. Uptown Coffee on the Square is open until 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Football season in Oxford brings huge crowds into town, and that's generally good news for hotels. But with big crowds often come big challenges. NewsWatch reporter Thomas Goris tells us more about how hotels prepare for busy game day weekends.
Ole Miss football season marks not only the happiest, but the busiest time of the year for Oxford hotels. According to Visit Oxford Market Research, hotel occupancy during game day weekends can reach as high as 98%, the highest of the year. And while the influx of visitors may pack hotel rooms full, the big crowds of rowdy game day fans can present challenges. Clifton Clements Odom, the Chancellor's House head of sales and marketing, talks about dealing with these challenges.
We always staff heavier, obviously. Monitor alcohol intake. That's our responsibility to make sure that we're serving people in a responsible way.
Ole Miss senior Kel Tonkinson stayed at the Chancellor's house last football season when his family came into town. He described his stay as hectic but pleasant.
It's a bar scene on Friday night was pretty wild. Everybody coming in pretty drunk and stuff, but most of the part, they were pretty respectable and, no real issues.
Odom says that at the end of the day, the safety of hotel guests is the most important priority.
We want people to leave all in one piece and having had a good time. And if I'd rather have a bruised ego than a bruised body. So.
The Chancellor's House is expecting another packed house this weekend when the Ole Miss football team takes on the University of Louisiana Monroe. But for those looking for a last-minute booking opportunity, there are still a few rooms available. I'm Thomas Goris, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Oxford hotels expect the 4 remaining home football games to be among their busiest of the year.
Running a business is a challenge in itself, but imagine running a vinyl store with so many streaming outlets at your fingertips. NewsWatch reporter Lauren Conley gives us a deeper look into Oxford's own vinyl store.
The End of All Music relocated from North Lamar to the Square in January. Owner David Swider says the relocation helped with the number in sales, but the reason for their success was the business strategy.
I think the key to our success was just low overhead, cheap rent. I worked for cheap, that kind of thing. We spent all of our money on buying more stock and just building the store.
Swider says he loves being surrounded by the music, but running the store still has its challenges.
And for me, that's just paperwork and taxes and paying for bills and, just the normal everyday life stuff.
Mason Atkinson owns a vinyl collection, and he feels that records will stay relevant.
To me, why it's cool is I feel like they're a piece of history because they're all old from the 70s and 80s, and they were made in that time, and that's what stands out to me about vinyls.
Although we hear vinyls are becoming obsolete due to streaming, the nostalgia factor is what's keeping the business alive. Lauren Conley, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Over $300 million in financial aid has been processed to Ole Miss students this year. The Office of Financial Aid encourages students to apply for multiple forms of aid in order to make college affordable. Aid packages can include scholarships, grants, loans, and work study from a variety of sources. In-state cost of attendance this year totaled more than $19,000 and just over $35,000 for out-of-state residents. Though enrollment declined for the second straight year, the financial aid budget has seen an increase due to the students being eligible for scholarships based on academics rather than need.
The Oxford Lafayette Humane Society is making its final preparations before they vacate their building on Sunday. The society is actively working to place the animals in new shelters or homes as soon as possible. Some of the dogs will be transferred to a shelter in West Virginia that is in need of dogs. One of the main reasons the society chose to vacate their building is to establish a free or low-cost spay and neuter clinic for animals in the Oxford Lafayette community. The society is celebrating its last day this Sunday at 2 p.m. with a party in the park next to the shelter building to honor donors and those who have adopted animals. The Memphis Music Festival is set to take place in Shelby Farms Park just outside of Memphis on October 6th and 7th. Headliners will include Post Malone, Beck, Phoenix, Nas, and Janelle Monáe. Memphis Fest recently released its late-night set, ensuring that the music will last long after the main acts leave the stage. Carl Denson's Tiny Universe is presenting Eat a Bunch of Peaches on October 6th, and the Memphis All-Stars will close out the festival the night of the 7th. Sounds like it will be a jamming weekend.
The Ole Miss Pharmacy School is supporting the fight against cystic fibrosis through bowling.
NewsWatch reporter Annie Mapp tells us how they hope to help end the disease.
The Ole Miss Pharmacy School has created a bowling team to raise funds for cystic fibrosis research. With their team, they are getting donations from businesses and people around Oxford. Their goal is to raise as much money as possible to give to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Pharmacy student Rachel Denny said she has a personal connection to supporting the foundation.
To me, it touches my heart because I know the struggles and everything that people go through, and just to know that we can raise awareness and raise money for them is really heart-touching for me and heartfelt. So I was glad to do this and bring it to the School of Pharmacy.
The idea came in honor of the late Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Programs, Dr. Charlie Hufford. Hufford worked at the university for 43 years and was known for being a master on the bowling floor after having 30 perfect games.
Thanks to the community, the pharmacy bowling team has exceeded their fundraising goal and created a raffle consisting of gift baskets and guessing how many buttons are in this jar to win tickets to the Ole Miss homecoming game.
IP liaison Gaston Bach said you can still receive your prize even if you're busy on Friday.
And the way we're going to do that is if you can't be here, that's fine. We will have a video or a picture that we can send to you. I can't tell you how many businesses have, we just thought it'd be a gift card here, a gift card there. We've had over $200, $300 items donated for this raffle. Just so gracious to the community of Oxford for pouring their hearts out and being so gracious to us for this.
The deadline for the raffle will be on Friday at noon, but the bowling team will still be taking up donations for the foundation up until their Bowl for Breadth bowling match on October 9th. Annie Mapp, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
What a great cause and what a great sport. Bowling's underrated.
I know. Do you want to go bowling
Yeah,
later?
let's go bowling. We're going bowling.
Sounds good.
Coming up, a company that I know has saved me while doing schoolwork turned 20 today.
And one fast food chain is actually making their burgers healthier for consumers. But first, Gavin Norton has your first look at the current conditions.
Our current weather conditions include a nasty cloud cover, but good news, it will dissipate as the night goes on and we will see temperatures rise and we can look forward to a sunny weekend ahead. If we take a look at the radar image, what we can see over here is that there is some rain, some nasty stuff going on, but fortunately Oxford is unaffected. Those sunny weekends, though, won't come without a price, and we'll show you what that is coming up on Stormwatch.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfies.
Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I, Krista, take you, Jamie, to be my wife.
When we found out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were just sitting there waiting for the pediatrician. She said she won't be taking you in as a client.
We are a lesbian couple, but she's just a baby. She's the one you're denying the service to.
A scheduled meeting today between Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and President Trump will not move forward. The president set the meeting Monday, days after a bombshell report on Rosenstein by the New York Times. The Times reported Rosenstein discussed secretly recording President Trump and talked about invoking the 25th Amendment to have Trump removed from office. Rosenstein denies the story. The president said he wanted to focus on today's Senate hearing for his embattled Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. The White House says the president and Rosenstein spoke by phone today and plan to meet next week. Education technology company Chegg plunged more than 12% yesterday after disclosing a data breach that could affect customers' user information. The online textbook rental company said that in April, an unauthorized party gained access to a company database containing user data including names, emails, shipping addresses, and passwords. The company learned of the breach on September 19th and plans to start notifying its nearly 40 million users about the incident. Chegg has said that no social security numbers or credit card information were obtained in the incident.
Uber makes a $148 million payment in connection to a data breach today. The rideshare company was accused of purposely hiding a 2016 hack. According to the investigation, thieves stole information from about 57 million people. The breach wasn't revealed for a year. That's when Uber admitted it paid the hackers to destroy the stolen data. The settlement with the Attorney Generals is for 50 states and Washington, D.C. According to the New York Attorney General, this is the biggest multi-state data breach settlement in history. In addition to the payment, Uber says it will take safety steps improving data security practices. The FBI says it has found a body believed to be a 6-year-old autistic boy in North Carolina. Maddox Rich went missing Saturday at Rankin Lake Park in Gastonia. The boy was with his father and another adult at the time. Ian Rich told the authorities his son ran off and he couldn't find him. Search crews have been out looking for the boy since he disappeared. His parents know a body was found. Authorities are still investigating what happened.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles on a sesame seed bun. The Big Mac is getting a makeover. McDonald's is on a mission to eliminate artificial ingredients from its menu. The fast food company's 7 classic burgers will no longer include artificial preservatives, flavors, or coloring. Everything from the bun to the cheese to the sauce will be stripped of preservatives without sacrificing that signature taste. McDonald's is following an industry trend toward healthier food. Taco Bell, Subway, and Panera Bread all recently made the move to take out non-artificial ingredients from their menus.
Happy birthday, Google. It has been 20 years since 2 Stanford PhD students rented out a garage and built the now famous search engine. Check out the Google Doodle celebrating a milestone, a flashback to life in the late 90s. Complete with the doodles of the Y2K scare, demoting Pluto as a planet, and the rise of selfies. Google's parent company, Alphabet, is worth more than $800 billion.
And Bess, what do you call a baby rhinoceros?
I don't know. I can Google it for you.
This week has been perfect to stay inside and watch movies with the rain and lack of sunshine. Ain't that right, Annabelle?
And I'm definitely not hating it. But coming up, Gavin Norton will let us know if the weekend will bring back the summer weather in his extended forecast.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk. No matter what you're going through, I just want you to know I'm here. I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
I got some Oxy after I hurt my neck. First, I took them to feel better. Then, I just kept taking them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Thank you for tuning in to Storm Watch. I'm Gavin Norton. The current temperature outside is a cloudy 64 degrees with no chance of rain. If we want to take a look at a broader perspective, though, we can see that this region will be cloudy, and that's going to continue over until tonight. Looking at more regional temperatures, what we can see is that the temperatures are bouncing around the mid-60s, and looking at tomorrow, we can see that that will soon rise. We're going to see temperatures in the high 70s. What does that mean for tonight, though? Well, tonight what we're going to see is a low of 55 degrees, some light and variable winds, but those clouds will burn off by the time it hits the early AM hours. As we can see, tomorrow we're forecasted at a sunny 79 degrees with light and variable winds. Now, if we want to take a more broader perspective, we can see that the next 5 days will include highs in the mid-80s and lower chances of rain. That's back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Gavin. Well, if you just can't wait for men's basketball to get underway, you'd be excited to hear about what time their non-conference games are at.
And one player that kneeled with Colin Kaepernick got an NFL contract. See who it is next.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I bought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Rebel fans, what's going on? Jason Price here, and for an awesome Thursday edition of Sports Watch. Well, if you're already tired of football season and you're ready for Rebel basketball, do not fret because the season is only 44 days away. The tip-off times for home non-conference games were released today, as well as the time for the neutral site showdown against Southeastern Louisiana in Jackson, Mississippi. The regular season gets going on Saturday, November 10th in the Pavilion when the Rebels go head-to-head with Western Michigan at 3 p.m. Ole Miss will also be spending Thanksgiving weekend on the beach when they compete in the Emerald Coast Classic on November 23rd and 24th. And on December 12th, the Rebels will be playing in Jackson for the first time in 11 years against Southeastern Louisiana at 6:30. Former San Francisco 49er and teammate of Colin Kaepernick, Eric Reed, has signed a one-year deal with the Carolina Panthers. In 2016, Reed was the first of Kaepernick's teammates to kneel alongside him during the national anthem. The 49ers chose not to re-sign Reed after he filed a grievance against the NFL, stating team owners were motivated to prevent his employment because of the protest. After being asked whether or not Reed's grievance with the NFL was a factor, Panthers general manager replied, "This was a football decision." Kaepernick tweeted a picture with Reed earlier today, congratulating him on the contract. Tonight we have a Thursday night football showdown against the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams in LA. The Red Hot Rams are rolling into this contest at 3-0 for the first time since Kurt Warner was slinging the pigskin back in 2001. The Vikings are the exact opposite. With a record of 1-1-1, this very talented Vikings team is trying to find a groove, and this isn't the best game to do so. Luckily for the Vikings, the Rams are a little banged up, being without quarterbacks Akeem Talib and Marcus Peters. Look for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings receivers to pick on the backup DBs for the Rams when the game kicks off at 7:20 p.m. And finally, living golf legend Tiger Woods arrived at the Ryder Cup in France to a standing ovation. Woods traveled with the U.S. team and is coming off a huge win in the Tour Championship. Before the Tour Championship, Woods had undergone 4 back surgeries and hadn't won a PGA Tour title in more than 5 years. This Ryder Cup will be Tiger's first since 2012, so expect him to make this tournament an exciting one. The 14-time major champ will be partnering with Patrick Reed, a.k.a. Captain America, to take on Europe's Tommy Fleetwood and Francesco Molinari. Well, that's all for me, but be sure to follow us on Twitter at NewsWatch_UM for more of your favorite sports updates. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jason. Up next, find out why today's National Day will make your sweet tooth happy.
Do you think Tiger Woods has a sweet tooth?
I don't know, but I can Google that for you.
Also, see why it will have you saying, "Got milk?" Stay tuned.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout,
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Embrace your inner child and enjoy a cold, creamy glass of chocolate milk because it's National Chocolate Milk Day. This may surprise you, but chocolate milk does not come from brown cows. What?
According to the Smithsonian, an Irish botanist in the early 1700s gets credit for the modern interpretation. He got the idea after going to Jamaica and encountering a drink that locals made with water and cocoa. He didn't like it, so he substituted milk, brought the concoction to Europe, and the rest is history.
How about that?
Well, thanks to that Irish botanist, chocolate milk's my favorite drink.
You know, I think they were a little confused there. I'm not sure that it doesn't come from brown cows.
I'll have to Google that.
There you
So,
go.
what's the forecast? Rainy with a chance of chocolate milk?
Oh, I can only hope. Not that amazing, but we are going to see a sunny weekend, so slight optimism in the future.
Great, that sounds
Optimism is always accepted here.
Thank you.
Gavin.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Gavin.
Well, that's all we have for tonight. Thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Matthew.
Be sure to join us here again tomorrow night at 5 and on NewsWatchOleMiss.com. I'm Bess Pavlakovich. Thank you and good night.